What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I want to talk about the bot farms, or the bots in general, because there's a couple metrics here that seem to be contradicting, but at the end of the day, I think they do paint a story of, well, at least some significant decrease in activity for a large amount of accounts. Now, I don't know if that's going to be players, because I think players are probably excited about the Soulbound reward cards, but I can tell you who isn't excited about Soulbound reward cards, and that would probably be the larger bot farms that tend to extract value from the game and want, cheap and easy access to that capital. Again, no judgment if you're a bot farm owner. I'm just saying that it probably sucks if you were getting like tens of thousands of cards before, and now you're not, or at least you still are, but you're not able to sell them for the next year or so until they go out of print. So let's take a look here. Now, what I generally tend to look at is this daily active player count, which you can see here is, it declined right before the Soulbound reward cards kicked in. So you can see we were like well above the 200,000 daily active user range, and right before, the day before, we dropped down to 157,000. But then we picked it back up, and we're at 191 on the last day of January, 236, and then 206. So we've been back above the 200,000 player mark, and I should say players, but daily active users, right? Because, and this is what I'm going to get into in a moment. When you take a look though at this other metric here at battles, you can see that battles have just fallen off of a cliff. Now, we were doing, let's see, if we go to daily average battles was 4.4 million over the last month. It was 3.8 million over the past 3 months, and then 3.6 million over the past 6 months. Well, you take a look at the last 7 days. Let's just go back to the last month. You take a look at these last 3 days, right? So the first day the Soulbound reward cards came in live, and then the 2 days following that, and you can see we were at just over 3 million here, but then dropped down to 1.4 million, 1.6 million. So we're down more than half in terms of overall battles being played. Now, how long will this go for? Is this a permanent move by potential bot farms? I have no idea, right? Now, what makes this interesting, and actually before we jump into the next part, the other metric, right, the third kind of piece to this puzzle, which again will be probably in favor of bots having gone off, is the fact that rental demand is down significantly too. Now, this is just anecdotal for me. With a lot of extra cards that I rent out, I can see that the rental values have gone down, the demand has gone down, but I've also heard several other people talking about that as well in Discord. So again, it's just interesting to look at and think about. So what could this kind of contradicting number here be, right? Because we have two things, battles and rentals, that seem to suggest that there is definitely decreased activity happening in the game when it comes to battling, when it comes to market, but we're seeing that there's still active players. Active users. Now, what we don't have with this, daily active user or daily active player account is what defines a player. Is it somebody that runs a battle, or is it somebody that just logs into their account or does some kind of activity with their account? Because, and here's my theory, right? Here's my theory that over this period of time, over the last couple of days, you've probably had bot farmers or people who run, mass amount of accounts making some kind of decision, right? So they're going through and probably moving cards into or out of their account. Maybe they're consolidating a lot of those accounts as well in order to play at the higher levels, right? To earn better cards, or to have, higher whatever for higher chances of earning these rewards and the multipliers that we've seen. That is something that is still very much a possibility. So what does that mean overall? Well, we may see less overall active players. We may see less overall battles, because you're going to have a bunch of these cards potentially combined into smaller accounts that now start playing in Diamond, maybe even Champ, right? Or High Gold, for example. So the point being is that the bot farms, or the bot, whoever it is, may not have left, but if they are consolidating accounts, we could start to see that. And if this number starts to once again decrease, we'll say over the next week or 2 weeks, then to me, that would kind of confirm that, right? But what may not change is the amount of battles. Now, this might go up over time, but I don't know that we're going to see as high amount of battles as we did before, unless, again, the other thing is the bot farms just went offline for a couple of days because they're thinking about it. And then they're just going to turn it back on, and all of a sudden we'll be back to where we were before. But, at this point in time, there's been a lot of, let's say, action taken by the team to combat the lower level farming that happens in bronze and then in silver. So again, the requirement to play in gold versus something like silver is almost like a 2x investment. And then the requirement to play in diamond over gold is like another 2x investment. So when you think about how many players or how many accounts were like just farming in silver that would need to start playing in either gold or in diamond, again, to be competitive with their decks and level up their cards. Well, I don't know how many bots we expected there to be in the game. I think that there's a significant amount, but then imagine dividing that number of bots by 2 or by 4 if they are trying to play at the highest levels. So, we'll have to wait and see, but my prediction is that the people who are running the bot farms, which again, I'm not trying to demonize, but they are probably realizing that there's way better returns as long as they can stomach the longer time preference of like waiting until these cards are no longer in print. But with the soulbound reward cards, I should say, but they're probably recognizing that is the case at higher levels. There's just better returns there. They're going to get a lot more cards, so they have the assets already. Rather than playing, 1,000 accounts in silver, why not just move, that down to like 250 accounts that can play in diamond and potentially even reach champion and get way more rewards over time, right? So again, this is just a theory. I'm just sharing the data with you and proposing what I believe is actually happening. In especially I've had some conversations, not necessarily with bot farms directly, but with people who know people who run bot farms. Again, this is why I don't want to share or say it, like it just sounds like I'm giving you like second or third hand information. So I am very much just guessing, and I want to make that very clear. It's not like I'm getting any inside information from anybody, although I have heard that bot farms are consolidating. So take that for what it is. So we'll have to wait and see if this daily average player count does then once again start to decrease once these accounts are consolidated. But I just don't see them leaving, right? And if they did, I would imagine that you'd see a ton of cards potentially being liquidated on the market, which I don't think that we've seen. Again, not from a rental standpoint, but from obviously a sales standpoint. And I don't necessarily think we've seen that. So there could be, and I'll close out with this. There could be a little patience from bot owners to just wait until the end of Chaos Legion. If they've bought and hold a ton of assets and they think that there might be a boom and kind of a FOMO period over the next 2 months, they might be patient and just wait to exit the game at that point. Would they be running the bots now? And could they run the bots between now and that time? Sure, but there's like an ongoing cost for, electricity or servers, whatever, all that stuff. So again, I'm just throwing out a bunch of different options out there, but I wanted to present this data to you and let you make your own decision on what you think is happening. But I am curious to know, what is your take on this? How do you guys feel about it? Is this good, bad? I know there's a lot of anti-bot farm sentiment out there, and I don't blame you. So, like, how would you feel about bots shutting down? I think people would be happy, but B, these bots now moving up to gold and diamond rather than playing, in silver and gold, right? So again, I don't know, but I think it's going to be interesting, and I will be following these numbers over the next week or so, and then maybe we can reconvene here and figure out if we were right or wrong. So that's all I have for you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.